With everyone safely back at Seiko's house, Momo and the others discover that water has a surprising effect on how Evil Eye possesses Jiji's body. This is Dandadan, episode 17, also known as season 2, episode 5. We can all stay there together. And this episode deals with the fallout from the Cursed House arc. We start off with everyone back at Momo's house where Seiko is trying to do this ritual to get rid of the Evil Eye that is currently being trapped inside Taru's body. However, every time when they do the ritual and they open up Taru's head, the Evil Eye is still there, so they discover like, okay, nothing's working here. This guy is still possessing Jiji's body. We're gonna have to keep him within Taru's body for now. And then we cut to a running gag in Dandadan where after every big arc, I should just say every arc in general, we have an eating scene. This is something that I really love about the series. Anytime there's like an arc that finishes, they just stop the big threat. Everyone that was involved in that arc get together and they have a meal. For some reason, Ira decided to show up. I don't care why she decided to show up. I'm just glad that she's here. Our leader is back. We haven't seen her in 5 episodes, but now she's back. And we even have a moment where like Ira gets pissed off. Like, why didn't you invite me to go with you guys? I'm the leader. I should be in the know when it comes to these things. And Momo just kind of snaps back, why the hell are you even here? You didn't work, so you can't eat. And that's when Ira like notices that Mantis Shrimp is here. I like the fact that it took her this long to realize. But she immediately snaps on him. It says, I told you to never come back to Earth again. What the hell are you doing here? And that's when he tells his story about how while he was happy that they gave Mr. Mantis Shrimp a cow, he realized that the cow is not producing any milk, and so he had no choice but to return. And Ira is like upset with this until she sees Chiquita, and then she immediately clomps him and just starts hugging him and squeezing him like crazy. And this is another gag that you will be seeing throughout Dandadan, where Ira basically treats Chiquita as her own son. Like she's constantly watching over him, playing with him. It's just like adorable little thing that I love about Ira and shows like a different side of her. It also kind of makes me wonder if this is because Ira lost her own mom when she was young, so she can sympathize with Chiquita not having a mom, or if maybe this is part of Silky's, role where Silky was a single mom, so now like her motherly tendencies are kind of being implanted onto Ira, and so Ira treats Chiquita like her own son. Either way, it's just like this adorable thing that they have that you'll see plenty of times, hopefully in the anime, because you will see it plenty of times if you read the manga. But eventually, we start hearing Jiji's voice coming out of Taru. Seika's like, okay, don't release the seal yet. We got to see who's under that mask, because there are plenty of demons out there that will mimic the voices of someone that you know in order to trick you. So they pull back the mask only to reveal that it's Jiji. So Jiji has gotten control back of his body, and they're wondering, okay, well, maybe we should get rid of Taru then. Taru is no longer needed. But then Seiko grabs a cup of cold water and she throws it in Jiji's face. And when she does that, Jiji immediately transforms into Evil Eye and threatens to kill them all. So eventually we discover that Jiji is fine if he is dry, if it's warm water. As soon as cold water, any cold liquid touches him, he becomes the Evil Eye. And so Seiko like grabs this like hot liquid, I think it's like hot broth. She throws it in Jiji's face and he goes back to normal again. And that's when Turbo Granny basically poses up like some kind of mafioso and explains that you guys really thought you can get rid of the Evil Eye that easily. The Evil Eye is a mountain spirit, which is basically like a god. There's no way you're going to be able to stop it that easily. It was looking for someone that had high spiritual powers. If it were to possess anybody else, like a regular human, that human would have died. But it was able to possess Jiji because he had high spiritual powers. There's no way you're going to be able to get rid of it that easily. Seiko basically gives Momo and Akarun hot water thermos and just explains that you're going to have to carry hot water with you everywhere you go, because at any point, if Jiji turns into the evil eye, you gotta chuck this at him so that he'll turn back to Jiji. So yeah, we got a whole Rama half situation going on. And I love the fact that as Seiko is explaining this, Jiji's actually singing the original theme song for Rama half. Like he's actually singing the opening theme. So it's just like this little tongue-in-cheek wink wink. And yeah, I just kind of love this moment. And of course, I also love the fact that Ira is still hanging out with Chiquita and playing with them. That's basically all she does throughout this entire dinner sequence. Is she, while everyone's like being worried about Jiji and the evil eye and stuff, she's just playing with Chiquita. And then we have probably one of my favorite gags in this entire anime so far. I don't remember if this was in the manga, but basically Momo, Akurun, and Ira are going to say goodbye to Mr. Mantis Shrimp, who reveals that his name is actually Peeny Weenie. And he says that he is going to be living here on Earth. He is going to be living at a farm where he's working. So he's going to be working at a farm. He's also going to be living there, and that will allow him to be able to have access to milk for Chiquita and stuff like that. And we see him, and he's him and Chiquita are being beamed up into their ship. And as they're doing this, Ira is like yelling, like, "Go away and don't ever come back. Except for you, Chiquita. You can stay here whenever you want." And we see them go into the ship, and then we have this sequence that is very familiar from season 1, where it goes into like hyperdrive, and we just see the ship teleport out, and the three just kind of stand there for a moment, and then not even a couple seconds later, the ship reappears, and it starts beaming down Peeny Weenie and Chiquita at like the house next door. So they literally went up into their ship, hyperdrived, just so that they can come back and go next door, because that's where they're going to be staying. I just thought it was an amazing gag, especially the way that Ira, Akurun, and Momo just kind of play it straight, where they don't like have overblown exaggerations of this. They just like, well, they're really close by, I guess. But yeah, this gag was freaking hilarious. I loved it. And then we have a moment that a lot of Momo Akurun shippers are gonna love, where they are in the van. They're being driven to the hospital where they're gonna be able to meet Jiji's parents. Jiji's parents have been transferred over to a hospital nearby where Seiko lives, so that she can like watch over them and Jiji can be close to them and stuff. As they're doing this, Momo starts flirting with Akurun. We have a moment where she starts like placing her hand over his and touching his fingers and stuff like that. And Akurun freaks out at first because he has no idea what Momo's doing, and he apologizes. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." She's like, just don't worry about it. And so he pulls his hand away, and Momo says, "No, put your hand back." So he puts his hand back, and then Momo basically starts putting her hand over his, starts rubbing her fingers over his hand, and even does like a reverse hand hold. And as this is happening, I love what the anime did, where we go through a tunnel, and so the light, the atmosphere kind of changes. So it's almost kind of like the empty space, only instead of being teleported to this dimension where it's like danger, it's basically like a lovey-dovey situation. So I just kind of like how like the colors and everything changes. So it's kind of like a contrast to whenever they go and get ready to fight battle and everything kind of changes. Instead of danger, it's Momo flirting with Akurun and holding his hand and stuff. So yeah, for anyone that was worried about, is this series going to be like your typical shonen, where they are going to shy away from the romance and they'll throw hints every once in a while, but it'll always be a will they won't they get together kind of situation? Well, here's your hints on if they're going to go in that direction or not. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but yeah, here you go. So yeah, we go back to the hospital where Jiji gets to meet his parents and stuff like that, and he's still in Taru's body. So that's why he's wearing like the high collar shirt and all that stuff, is because everything from the neck down is Taru's body, and it's because he still needs to be trapped in Taru's body to make sure that the evil eye doesn't go crazy and stuff. It does kind of make me wonder if Jiji crying should have turned him into evil eye, because he's getting wet with liquid that, I mean, I guess ears aren't necessarily cold, they're kind of room temperature-ish. Oh well, I'm not going to nitpick that. But as they're watching this, a news plays in the background, And it basically shows that the Keto family have been arrested and they're charged with murder and illegal confinement. And then that's when we see Naki. Naki has been able to escape. Cops haven't been able to capture her. She's on the run in the woods. Her arm's like completely broken. And she's like pissed off. We see her just going crazy and she starts ripping parts of her body off. And it's revealed that she is actually not human. She's actually a subterranean. And Momo has basically made an enemy out of all of them. And so pretty much setting up for like a subterranean arc at some point. And then we get Momo and Akuro and they're going to school. And I love the fact that Momo basically is the one that initiates walking to school with Akuro. Like she is waiting for him so that they can walk to school together. I also love the fact that Momo's friends show up. And I love how they don't like tease or treat Akuro negative. They basically accept him as one of their own, like almost immediately. So we see like one of her friends completely glumps Akuro and just holds on to him as they're walking. And yeah, I love these friends. These friends are super supportive. I love the fact that they are like 100% pushing for Akuro and Momo to get together because they, one, realizes that Momo has feelings for Akuro, and two, realize that Akuro is good for Momo, like he will treat her right. So they just immediately accept him. He's immediately a part of their group. I think that's kind of nice. And then we immediately contrast the acceptance here with the rejection of all the classmates when it comes to Ira. We have a flashback to Ira admitting that she made up all that stuff about Momo. And so everyone is now like against Ira. They are upset that they bought Ira's lie. They're pissed off that Ira's not the sweetheart that she portrays herself to be. And that's when Momo immediately shows up, throws her arm around Ira and says, "Come with me, I need to talk to you a bit." And I love the fact that Akuro just immediately glares daggers at the classmates for their treatment of Ira. So yeah, Akuro's a good friend. Ira tries to play the tsundere act, tries to say, "I can stop being friendly with me. Being friendly with the likes of you drops my popularity. Except for you, Akuro, like, you can hang out with me anytime you want." So obviously, Ira still has feelings for Akuro. But Momo brought her out here because she wanted to discuss something. The thing that she wanted to discuss was that she needs help to watch over Jiji. Like, right now, it's just her and Seiko, and she can't be doing this all the time. Like, she can't put it on Seiko to always watch over Jiji, and she will feel better if she had other people to be able to have her back. So she invites Akuro and Ira to have a sleepover, and their immediate reaction is to freak out. Akuro, because he gets to be in the same place with Momo. Ira, it's not really mentioned in the anime, but Ira freaks out because she gets to sleep under the same roof as Akuro. Not really mentioned in the anime, but in the manga it is. So yeah, that's why Ira kind of starts freaking out. But I just like kind of love their freaked out expression, and they're basically trying to play it off like they really don't want to, but they will anyways. Like Akuro's just kind of like, well, I guess if it'll make you feel better, you know, I guess I can stay with you for the night. But Akuro's like 100% wanting to get behind this. To the point where Momo's like, well, if you guys can, you guys don't have to. And they're like, no, we'll do it. So we're going to have the sleepover. Ira decides to leave to go back to class. And Momo just says, hey, like, if being around us is making your friends not want to hang out with you, then you don't have to force yourself to hang out with us. And Ira, you know, completely shoots that down. It's like, no, don't worry about it. It's my own fault. And she just kind of walks away. And we cut to Seiko house, where Seiko tells Taru that he no longer needs to protect Jiji. That it looks like Jiji has things under control for now. We just have to make sure that he gets no cold liquids dumped on him. But as long as if that doesn't happen, as long as if we have like hot liquids to dump on him immediately, he's going to be fine. And eventually we should be able to exercise this. I already have people coming over to perform the ritual. So Taru, you no longer need to cover up Jiji. So yeah, Ira and Akuro show up. We have a moment where they're all eating a meal, and Seiko asks Akarun for some soy sauce. And I love how this scene is done, where we see Akarun, he grabs the soy sauce, and then starts doing slow-mo as he brings the soy sauce towards Seiko. And as he's doing this, a drop of soy sauce falls out. And it looks like it's going to land on Jiji, but instead it ends up just hitting the table. And everything's fine. But then Seiko says, no, not that one, the other one. So then we see Akarun, and he grabs the other soy sauce, and we have the same scene played out again, with the slow-mo and the zoom in and another drop. And this one actually lands on Gigi's arm. And we just have a split second of Gigi's face. Then Evil Eye awakens and throws over the table, and that's how the scene ends. It immediately ends with Evil Eye coming back and about to start wrecking shop. In fact, we even have like a moment where part of Seiko's house just blows up from the damage caused by Evil Eye, and then just immediately we snap to credits. Yeah, that's going to be setting up for the next episode. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really good. I preferred the previous episode more. I still think the previous episode was the best episode so far, but I think this one was really good. This one was your slice of life heavy episode. As slice of life as you can get with Dandadan, but this is basically like, you know, your eating at the dinner table, your character development, some flirtation between Akarun and Momo. We have the fallout from the Keto family. We see school life, how Akarun is starting to get integrated into Momo's friends group. We see Ira and how the class are treating her. Yeah, this is pretty much just like your regular slice of life with some fantastical elements thrown in. But things are going to pick up in the next episode. I thought this was great. I love the characters. This episode kind of shows how powerful each of the characters are. Not in terms of strength, but just in terms of like their actual character. You can have just little downtime moments with these characters and be entertained as hell. I love the fact that we take time. Like, not everything needs to be fast-paced. Fight, 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 fight. We can have moments where we just settle down. We just breathe. We just have time to spend with the characters and learn more about them and just see their personality and stuff. I think more series, not just manga, but more series in general, need to do stuff like this. I think this is a problem with a lot of series out there where it's just one thing onto the next, onto the next, onto the next, and you have no time to kind of just slow down for a moment. Just give time for like the audience to breathe. Give time for things to kind of settle. Like, you have like a big moment, a big fight, or a big reveal, and then you're immediately on to the next thing, rather than just, how about we just breathe on this for a moment? Just settle on this, let it marinate for a bit. I love these characters, and if something were to happen to these characters, I'd be really upset, because we've had time to spend with these characters, not just them fighting, but we had time to see what they were like outside of the whole craziness, what they, you know, how they act, who they are as a person. And I think more series need to do stuff like this. I love just the directing for this series. Whether it's the color changes to represent different moods, the kind of contrast between Momo and Akarun and their flirtation in the tunnel, to the empty space, like how we kind of have that same moment where we have the darkness and then the color change to represent them entering a different world. And in this case, it's kind of Momo and Akarun entering their own world together, where it's just them and they kind of block out everyone else around them. In fact, Momo is doing this not even realizing that like Seiko is watching her and Akarun flirt in the rearview mirror. Like, they're just like in their own little world. And it's kind of like how we kind of set that up with them entering their own little world, the same way that we would set them entering the empty space. And then, of course, just like the little Easter eggs, like Jiji singing the Rama half song while Seiko is explaining that Jiji basically has the Rama half curse, where he changes the evil eye anytime cold liquid hits him, but he changes back to Jiji whenever hot liquid hits him. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I think everything works. The characters, the story, the coloring, the directing, the little Easter eggs. Like, Science Saru has freaking nailed this series down. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I can just keep gushing about this series. It's fantastic. It's one of the best animes I've ever seen so far. And this episode just continues that trend. It doesn't, while it might not be as great as the previous episode, it's still great in its own way. So there you go. There's Dandadan episode 17, aka season 2 episode 5. We can all stay there together. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.